Now what I want to do, finally, we need to go ahead and tell it that we're going to be using the texture that's selected over in the texture browser. So I'll come up here to Camera Effect, expand it, and look at this, New, Camera Overlay. Well, if I come over here, you'll see we have two different things that we can use, two different camera effects, a camera overlay or motion blur. In this case, we're interested in the camera overlay for overlaying a shader or a texture. So I'm just going to come over and hit New. Now I can come down here. You can see my overlay material. So I can simply click right here, hit Use, and it's going to use Movie Text 1. Okay? It's just that simple. I hate to say it. But this is simply basically faded the text in, and then it's going to pop out since we've set the Disable After Duration to True. How do we make it fade in, then fade out? All we need to do is come back up here, add another sub-action camera effect like such, and this time, watch this. I'm going to take my start alpha, set it to 1, my end alpha to 0, so I toggle the two so I fade out. Disable after duration, please. And then I'm going to tell it delay. Well, let's think about how long we need to delay. How long, Joel?
5 seconds.
Why would you say 5?
Well, because in our other delay, we had 2. It starts out at 2, and it goes 3 seconds. So it fades in for 3 seconds, and it starts at 2, so that means 5.
You're so right. So I'll put a 5 right there. Give you a cookie. Here's your cookie. Okay.
Yay.
So the duration, now.
It tastes good.
The entire thing right now is 8 seconds, okay? We've used up 5. We've got 3 to go. So let's say that this is going to take maybe 2 seconds to fade out.
Yeah.
So that sounds good to me. So with that in place, let's see. What else do we want to do? Well, we need to go ahead and come up here and make sure that we actually set our camera overlay.
And the right texture.
And then the right texture. So I'll come down here to Overlay Material and tell it to use like such. And now our text is going to fade out. So at this point, if we were to save this and then come over here and open our preview window and hit play, guess what?
Aww.
No text. This is another thing that we need to actually go into the game to see fired off. So let's go ahead and set up the text for this one right here as well, and then look at it all at one time. So when do we need to pop up the second text? Well, this is segment 1. This down here is segment 2, or segment B, or whatever you want to call it, okay? So we'll come down to this one, come over here to sub-actions. Now this guy is only 6 seconds long, so keep that in mind. So we'll come over
so
to sub-actions.
So we're going to have to fade out really fast. And
right. Right. So we'll go ahead and say create a new. We'll do a sub-action camera effect again, and then we're going to fade in. We'll disable after duration. We'll come down here and delay, maybe a 1 second delay this time. Duration, what do you say, maybe 3.
Yeah.
So that'll give us 4, then 2 seconds on the other end. We'll be just fine. And so let's come up here to camera effect, camera overlay. We'll go ahead and say new. Now I need to make sure I come back over here into my texture browser, grab this second texture, minimize it, come over here and say use. Okay, so now we're fading in, everything's looking good. So let's go ahead and come and add one more, as you guys saw a second ago, because we need to toggle to fade this out our start alpha, our end alpha, like such. We do want to disable afterwards. Duration is going to be how long, Joel?
4 seconds.
Very good. 4. And maybe we want to fade out over 2, which is going to give us our full 6 seconds. But since we're not overshooting our bounds here, we're going to be just fine. If you overshoot your bounds, you can end up causing some nasty things to happen. So always try to stay within your allotted time. So 4, 2, and let's just come back up here. Disable after duration. Yes. Camera. Let's go ahead and say new. Come down here, grab this guy, use, and everything look good to you?
Yes, it does.
All right. Well, if everything looks good to you, I say it's time for us to save and check. So we'll just run the game. So here it comes. Dun, 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 dun.
Nice music there, man.
Well, thank you. Well, you wasn't saying anything interesting.
Hey, I tried.
Okay. So here we go. And shooting at the birds, running over here, hitting the trigger, and let's see what we get. So around. Faded terror from the deep. Fade out. Ooh. Camera cut. A 3D Buzz production. Fade out. Ooh.
Yeah.
Cut, and over here, and we're pulling down into where we're going to put some action at coming up in the next lesson. So that's really it. That's all I wanted to show you is just, how you go about adding your own text. Doesn't that look great?
That looks awesome.
Yes, I agree. It's kind of corny and all. I mean, Terror
it's
from
like
the
a
Deep.
B movie, man.
Maybe a C+ movie, but come on.
Yeah, I know.
But look at that. We have our own text. And
that's what I'm talking about.
That's right. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit out of here. And with that, that's pretty much going to wrap up as far as I want to get us right now in regards to Matinee. So in the next lesson, we're going to take kind of a detour, and we're going to bring in some of our own custom created content. Because, I mean, think about it. Making a movie with, you know, the stuff that comes with Unreal Tournament 2004, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff, right? But, I mean, the moment you start modeling your own stuff inside of Maya and then bringing it to life through animation and then bringing that into the movie and having it triggered at the appropriate times, at that point, you know, the sky's the limit.
Oh,
you can make anything that you can imagine, okay? So that's going to wrap up this lesson here. So thanks, everyone.